Yeah.
All right, so we're going to do a mock draft.
Yeah,
what
pretty
we're doing.
Simplistic.
I was prepared and I'm not prepared because I left my prepared book at home. Therefore, not prepared.
Winging it. Well, I mean, like we said, your first 3 picks should be pretty fucking obvious unless we throw you for a loop. But if you want to get, your rounds in, your team best available. I mean,
I had it written down like, what the teams needed, like the best availables for those positions. Like I had it broke down. I mean, obviously the first pick we kind of know what's going to happen.
It's locked and loaded.
Yeah.
Place your bets.
I mean, if they don't pick Caleb Williams, I'd be a little shocked because of the hype going in.
That would be the biggest draft surprise since Reggie Bush went 2.
Yeah. And what was it? Mario Williams went 1?
Mario Williams went 1. So, yeah.
And who would you say had a better NFL career out of the two?
To be honest, both
of them were pretty subpar,
even-ish.
Yeah, they weren't like wow, but they weren't
like Mario
bottom
had
of the barrel.
some seasons that were okay, especially
I think Reggie broke 1,000 once.
He made a Pro Bowl, but he made it as a returner.
Yeah.
So I don't count that. It's more of a meaningless Pro Bowl to me.
That's fair.
But obviously Caleb's number 1. It's no question. He's literally only visited one team. The Bears literally only brought in one quarterback for a visit. It's him. Lock and load it. Call it a day. Now pick 2 is where it gets interesting.
2 and 3. I think it's
it's
whichever one the team's feeling. One goes 2, the other's going to go 3, and vice versa.
Yeah.
I think that's
so pick 2, Washington. I got him taking Jaden Daniels. That's pretty much what the bookmakers are saying too. It just makes sense. You bring in Cliff Kingsbury. He only deals with mobile quarterbacks. Out of the ones that are available left, Daniels is the most mobile one. He fits the bill of how he wants it. Plus, that O-line they gave up 60 sacks sure isn't going to get any better. Maybe after a little bit in the draft, but still, so you want your guy that's going to be able to run as well. So, it's Jaden Daniels for me. I can't see really any other quarterback. The only other thing I could think of people were talking about, because I know they brought in 4 quarterbacks today to kind of give them all one more look and do their due diligence. The only reason I could think they do that is that there's someone that's on the horn that just wants to give up the farm. Like, they want to be like, here's everything, and then they're probably thinking like, okay, we could probably snag Michael Penix Jr.
later
on down and be happy with that, which that's not too bad for me, but
I've seen a couple of the mock drafts where it was Penix and Rattler back to, swapping at the 5th quarterback overall taken, and I was like, Rattler would kind of surprise me if he jumped in there and took 5, but
we'll see.
Be a complete shock, but
for pick number 2, it's Jaden Daniels for sure.
Cody's got
on to pick 3, the Pats. Who are the Patriots taking?
I feel they go Drake May. I feel if unless some kind of shock happens with Washington, where they don't go with Jaden Daniels and they go with Drake May instead, or whatever, or if somebody does give the farm up to go get one of the 2. I feel like they're going to pick the latter of whoever's left between Jaden Daniels and Drake May.
Yeah, whoever's there is who they're taking.
Yeah. I can agree with that, but just curiosity, let's just say it, because J.J. McCarthy's been getting a little bit of love, and I know it's new coaching, new GM type situation, but the Patriots have been, they know one type of quarterback. Mm-hmm. Let's say Drake May goes at 2. Jaden Daniels is right there. J.J. McCarthy's right there as well. Do you think there's any way that they take J.J. because he's kind of more of what they're looking for? Because remember, they got Jacoby Brissett there as their bridge. Him and Jaden Daniels are just the complete opposite of a quarterback. J.J. McCarthy's probably more in that realm. So, do you think it's possible? Or do you think they start, getting some phone calls, seeing, can you go down and grab someone, like Michael Penix, Bo Nix, and be happy with that if you're not absolutely in love with, Jaden Daniels' style of play. Could you see them doing that, even though JJ is, in most people's eyes, the clear number 4 and no way should be a top 3 pick?
I could see that where I would see them leaning is if the Commanders went Drake May. I feel like that they would just go ahead and pull Marvin Harrison Jr. off the board.
I like that. I like that little kitch right there. That's pretty. I'm on board with that. That would really just throw everyone for a loop. You should have done that and really seen how James handles it.
Yeah, and just seen what happens at 4 with Arizona because their phone rings off the hook if that.
Oh, they're getting so many calls, but in this case scenario, they're taking whoever is the next available quarterback, which makes sense. So, but we'll see. All right, so Arizona at 4.
Yeah, and I think they go Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah,
obvious.
Like I said, you got a couple obvious picks.
Yeah, there's a couple obvious picks. Yeah,
gate.
So.
He's only like 3 feet taller than Kyler Murray, so that'll be a good pair.
Maserati Marv, we'll see. Number 5, Chargers. Now, the whole point of this is there were no trades unless you were able to trade within your pick bracket. So I had pick 11 as well, which is Minnesota. It fell that way. So I'm pulling the trade off that everyone thinks is probably going to occur, and that's Minnesota giving up pick 11 and 23 to the Chargers to move up to number 5. And based off the quarterback situation, J.J. McCarthy is probably the one who will be snagged. I think he could thrive well in that offense because, they're good enough. You had Aaron Jones who can, be a 3-down back. You still got Jefferson, Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkinson, and the O-line's not terrible. It's just really, and Kevin O'Connell's a hell of a coach. He's part of that Shanahan system, and they seem to get the best out of the people who they have. So, and I think he can game manage well enough, kind of like a Brock Purdy situation. Let your stars make the plays, and you just don't fuck up, which he's able to do.
That's what he did in Michigan.
That's what he did in Michigan. So in my eyes, I see the trade happening. J.J. McCarthy goes. And, then we got 4 quarterbacks off the board in the top 5. And I think that's how it's going to play out, unfortunately.
Very possible.
I don't see it any other way.
I don't either. I feel like Minnesota makes the jump. If they don't make the jump to 5, I feel like they make the jump to either 3 or 4 to try to get either McCarthy or if they can somehow get Drake May. I feel like they're going to be.
If Drake
active.
May's at 3, they would love to do it, but then, like I say, it's all about if the Patriots are comfortable, dropping all the way to 11 and being cool with whatever's available there, or at pick 23, to be honest with you.
You could get 11 and 23 and might even be able to get their one from next year as well to kind of help with that.
It's there. For me, I have them trading 11, 23 and the second rounder next year to move up, which I think is pretty reasonable compensation, but it just all depends, the closer you get to game time, or pick time, then the price goes up. So we'll see. But the problem is their competition of who else would trade up that high to get a QB don't have the pick arsenal. The Broncos don't. I don't see the Raiders really doing it either. So
Broncos have nothing. Their fridge is empty.
It's very empty. So, but we're going to get to them in a minute. But right now,
fine. Everything.
Right now we got the
right now we're on
Giants.
pick number 6, the Giants.
Is that me?
Yeah,
that's you.
I don't have the Giants going too far outside of the box. They need a wide receiver. They haven't had one since Odell Beckham. I feel like they pulled the next one off the board. Malik Neighbors, out of LSU.
Makes sense. I fully agree.
Another LSU, just going with another LSU guy to try to replace the old magic that used to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then with Tennessee, with the trade happening, I think they take Fashanu from Penn State.
Fashanu, really? Oh, that's gonna throw a wrench in the old monkey chain. But all right.
Monkey chain.
Yeah, Fashanu, really Fashanu.
We gotta get a thing on Donnie's mannerisms here.
I know.
We're gonna have a montage.
But Fashanu, I mean, he's been dropping down boards.
Monkey
but-
chains.
All right, that's cool. So Atlanta, they fixed their QB problem, so now it's not really an issue
Well, we hope
about
they
them
did.
trading up.
If he's still yelling you like that in Atlanta, they might
They're paying. They're paying for it. So they're going to go with the first defensive player off the board, edge rusher, Dallas Turner, Alabama. Had a terrific pro day. They need help to help solidify that defense, get sacks on the quarterback. I mean, I think their highest guy was Calais Campbell at 6.5, which doesn't cut it, you know. I mean, TJ literally had triple those numbers, so
And he didn't win.
and still didn't win Defensive Player of the Year. So yeah, that's something to be said. So yeah, Dallas Turner just makes the most sense in the world. So Bears at 9.
With the Bears at 9, with Fashanu going off the board early, I feel like they would have Joe Alt sitting there for him to help out that offensive line, to be able to help out Caleb Williams a little bit more. I've seen a handful of places that have him taking Roma Dunze. I'm looking at it right here that says it takes Roma Dunze, but if they have Joe Alt sitting there, I feel like they also
This
would
one
take
has
Joe Alt.
Romadunze.
My thing is, though, they already have bookend tackles with Wright and I forget who the other guy is, but they're bookend tackles. So it's like, what do you do with them? Like Joe Alt's a day one starter, when instead you got Keenan Allen on basically a 1-year contract. He can sit here, learn. You know, you grab Roma Dunze, who somehow falls to you at 9. That's a godsend gift. That's just teams like, you know, really fucking. I wanted to do it with Atlanta. I almost did. You know, I was like, let me take a peek at who their depth is, and I'm like, oh, that wouldn't be too bad. Add another bit for Kurt, but I stayed off of it. But it just, you know, he learns under Keenan Allen for a year. Then you get him off the books because you know he's going to want big money, and then you got, you know, the 1-2 punch more Dunze. I mean, it just makes more sense to me. I get Joe Alt, who really should have went to Tennessee. I don't know what he's drinking over there, but
I feel like with the offensive line you have, you can move a piece. You can maybe move one of those tackles inside. Maybe run it that way.
I know, but the way they're loading up their team, it feels like they're looking to, you know, pass the ball more than I would say run. And if you got 2 bookend tackles already that can handle it, I mean, you could go grab a guard in round 3. You know, that's how low it is after that little bit. But it's your pick. So, okay, Joe Alt at 9. Go ahead at 10. Jets.
Well,
New York Football Jets.
I've seen a couple on here. Like this one has them drafting Brock Bowers. I don't see that. I don't see them going to tight end that early, even though he's clearly the only tight end.
Yeah,
that's going to be a top one.
He's
but
literally the only tight end.
I think they go O-line support as well. Can't have another Aaron Rodgers getting hurt. So I'd say they probably take JC off the board.
JC Latham, all right.
Yeah,
that's understandable. I'm cool with that. Chargers, don't know how you did it, but Roma Dunze, I'm literally scratching. I had Fuaga from Oregon State because I thought there's no way he's making it down to 11. But if Roma Dunze falls to 11, you run that card up there. No hesitation. Don't even think about it because that wide receiver room is complete garbage now with just Palmer and Quentin Johnson.
Josh Palmer.
So you get a guy like a Dunze in there, big body, able to go win those 50-50 balls, has production over, you know, the past 2 years. If he falls to you at 11, you go buy a lottery ticket because you're the luckiest team alive right now.
This could also fall to the brilliance of Harbaugh in general. Because I mean, he hyped up McCarthy, got 2 extra first-round picks out of it, and if Dunze falls to him at 11, like he can rebuild the whole
it
thing.
makes sense. Yeah, if he's able to pull it off, so I'm cool with that. Yeah. 12, your team, the Broncos. Where are they going?
Who they riding with?
Do they take best available because they don't pick again till round 4? Or
do they take a chance on a quarterback?
You got to take a chance on a quarterback that's still high.
I'd like to know what
Which at this
Denver-
point, there's only, what, 2?
what Denver is doing.
Penix and Bo Nix. Yeah.
I feel
or
like
3.
I feel like that I would rather them as a fan for them to go with Penix, but I feel like they're gonna go Bo Nix at 12.
Gonna go Bo Nix at 12. All right.
Why, you think it kind of reminds him of something in the past with his play style?
I don't know.
Now here's my
I've
other
watched him
thing.
play, it
Now
doesn't
this is
sound
me
much.
personally thinking about it. It's tough, but let's just say, by some miracle grace of God, Roma Dunze drops to 12. Drops to 12. Don't know how he does it, but he does it. Do you think that they're gonna pick up the phone, call Buffalo, say, "Hey, look, let's make something work. Let's make something happen. You get some extra picks. You drop down to 28, which one of those quarterbacks is going to be there anyways."
Sure, yeah.
Like, that's a scenario I would love to see, but that's only if one of those 3 receivers somehow drops to you at 12.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening, but
Yeah.
if it does, I'm literally picking up the phone and calling Brandon Bean, and I'm like, "Yo, let's make some magic happen,
make
man.
some magic."
Let's make some magic." He's a tackle, but they say he's gonna kick into guard. Going to who?
One of the Jets at 10.
I could see that,
was
shore
it?
up a little bit of the O-line help, the Washington guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've seen a couple with the Jets, and it was like all the picks were all over the place for the Jets because I feel like they don't quite know
Well,
what
the
they
deal.
want.
Well, so here's the deal. Well, the thing is, they shored up a lot of their positions with signing Moses and Tyron Smith. So you got your bookend tackles. I even think they signed a guard as well. So the O-line's pretty in check, but they're thinking more along the lines of, if one of those guys get hurt, which Tyron Smith loves to get hurt a lot lately, would it be good to have depth, or do you go grab a playmaker for the future like Brock Bowers, who's kind of like that hybrid tight end? He's like a Travis Kelce, where it's like you can go line him up outside, put him one-on-one, he'll win your routes, do an end around, see what you do. But we'll see.
This one has Denver taking Brock Bowers at 12.
If he falls, I could see that, because I guess it's in my eyes like, do you just run with Jared Stidham for this year? Because you're dealing with the dead money anyways, and then just hope you got such a crappy pick, next year that.
Oh, we're having top 3 next year.
Yeah. So then it's like you get to redo
He's not
everything.
saying number 1 because the Panthers are still in the
The
league.
Panthers are still in the league.
Yeah.
They're trying to go for the number 1 pick,
It's-
technically 3 years in a row.
Your Panthers, Patriots, Broncos. We're going to be fighting for the top 3.
All right, so you have them taking Bo Nix.
I got them taking Bo Nix.
Makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah. Well, kind of, not really, but
Yeah, not
Yeah.
really, but they're going to reach because they need to.
They have to. It's unfortunate, but it will be the case.
and then next up would be the Raiders.
Raiders.
And I've seen a couple, pretty much all defense. That's what I see them taking.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of everybody. I think they go. I've seen them take multiple drafts where they take either or Alabama corner. Mm-hmm. I see him taking Kool-Aid just because Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Super.
I saw some taking Kool-Aid and then others taking Arnold. So it's literally.
Well, who's your pick? This is your mock.
I say
This-
Kool-Aid.
You're going
I think
Kool-Aid.
I think they go to Kool-Aid.
All right.
That's just messing Donnie's picks up. That's why he's over there.
No, to be honest, you're just kind of helping it now at this point.
So then you got
Orleans.
the Saints.
The Saints are going to go tackle. And since Fuaga from Oregon State fell, I'm going to take him. Fuaga, the O tackle for Oregon State. I think he's like number 3 on the board for tackles. Somehow made it all the way down to 14, and yeah, they're gonna take him.
Yeah, this one had J.C. Lantham at 14.
Yeah.
It's him slipping all the way down. And Fuaga went at 16.
It all depends on.
Yeah, it depends on
who you.
because this one also had the Jets taking Brock Bowers. And
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't see them taking him.
They don't have a tight end.
Well, yeah,
They
Conklin.
don't. Yeah,
But I mean, I think
Bowers is
they're.
already projected
Yeah.
way better at that spot. But all right, 15. It's you.
15 is Indianapolis.
Colts. I swear it's gonna get a little cray.
Their biggest need is corner. So I feel them going corner, and I feel them going Quinyon Mitchell, cornerback out of Toledo.
Fuck you.
him, McKinstry, and Arnold have been kind of the top 3 corners in this.
Okay.
And some have Quinyon Mitchell rated ahead of him. Some have Kool-Aid rated ahead of him. So I think they go with the best available in Quinyon.
That's
Mitchell.
Quinyon, especially with that speed, that sub 4.3. That's fine all day. All right.
Number 16.
Go ahead,
Seattle.
16 Seattle. Let's see where they're going.
I'm seeing a few on here.
It's in your gut.
A lot of defense. A couple offensive linemen, depending on who's available at the time. But I feel like they do take the edge rusher, Latu.
Latu.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's got to deal with a little bit of the medical.
From UCLA.
But apparently, I mean, he is the most complete pass rusher. It's literally just the medical where you got to get over the hump.
Yep.
Like, as everyone's saying, like, if he didn't have a medical
He'd be
situation, he's top 10 for sure. He's even over Dallas Turner. So, yeah, if you could snag him at 16, that's pretty solid. And then you just, you're throwing caution to the wind and see if he stays healthy. Sure. It's possible. He's done it. He was productive 2 years in a row. I think he literally had the same numbers, double-digit sacks both years, So, I'm cool with that pick. 17, Jags. Mostly everybody's saying cornerback here. So since Quinyon Mitchell's gone, and for some reason Kool-Aid McKinstry was picked first, Terrion Arnold, Alabama. That would be who I would take. So yeah, they're gonna go cornerback, Terrion Arnold, nice and easy. All right, the Bengals. The Bengals. They go a lot of ways here.
They do, and I feel like they're just going to get probably one of the better offensive linemen just off the board, whoever the best one is at this point in time. It's the offensive tackle that we were talking about from Washington that would be moved to guard. I feel like they pull him off the board here at 18.
Potner. Okay. I'm cool with that. I can get behind that.
They might even keep him at tackle and see see how he develops, even though some have him moved to guard.
All right. I'm cool with that. That makes sense. I figured they were going to go, even though they spent money on, I think it was Trent Brown. But like I said, he gets hurt. You need some depth. So I can understand, especially if he falls to you that far, then yeah, that's cool for me.
Yeah. That's like with the Rams up next. With him falling, I think they take Brock Bowers.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, yeah, I guess I could see it to where, in this draft he is falling. Someone's eventually got to grab him. They're kind of done with, I think, the Tyler Higbee deal. They would like another playmaker to go along with Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp.
Why not have a young tandem with a young tight end and a young wide receiver that can...
I mean, I like it, but I'm also thinking, Aaron Donald just retired. That's a big... That's a big...
You ain't going to replace that with just one pick. So.
You're not, but, your offense was pretty solid last year. The defense is where I would probably... And, Jared Verse is still chilling there. Mm-hmm. You could go one of the D tackles,
Brian Murphy.
So, yeah, if one of those guys falls to them, I would see them going more defense than offense. Don't get me wrong, if Brock Bowers falls all the way to 19, then a discussion has to be had. Yeah. But I just see him going defense because you got to fill that Aaron Donald void. Yeah. It in my opinion. But it's your pick. Brock Bowers done. Okay. Now, my favorite pick. Here we go. The Steelers. There's two options here. It's pretty obvious. You either go with a tackle, whoever's left. In my opinion, it's Mims from Georgia. You got the bookend Georgia tackles, call it a day. Or you go center and Jackson Powers Johnson, in my opinion. Everyone's saying Barton because he's got versatility, but...
Sure.
Played at Duke, played in the ACC, not exactly wowing me. And I understand he had to go over to tackle because of injuries and stuff like that. Sure. But with Jackson Powers Johnson, he was able to go from off of defense to offense, play in the Pac-12, do very well versus some solid teams. It is such a toss-up because I thought I thought Mims would have been picked by now, and then I wouldn't have to have this dilemma. So, it's so tough. I feel like the tackle position, yes, it's deep, and we have Dan Moore, so I'm going to say Jackson Powers Johnson, sure up the center spot. Have another, like I said, Marquise Pouncey, not Alan Faneca, Jeff Harding, like those centers that were there for years.
Yeah. That
just ran the offense, ran the show. I'll go Jackson Powers Johnson. They can grab a tackle later on down the road. Yep. So center from Oregon. That's who I got to go with.
Center from Oregon.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see the Eagles next.
It's the Dolphins.
Oh no, you're the Dolphins. I'm the Eagles. I'm saying you're next.
The Dolphins at 21. You just lost a center. I see back-to-back centers going.
Ooh.
If they take the center from Oregon, I think that the Dolphins take Barton.
Yeah,
I think so too. Just because of also his versatility.
I was hoping that's what you were going to say.
Being able to go to guard as well to replace Hunt. That makes sense to me. And it's like, Barton doesn't feel like a Steeler.
Yeah.
Jackson Powers Johnson just feels like a Steeler. And if somehow they were able to, take a tackle in the first and make it to the second round, I would love Zach Frazier. I just don't see him. I don't see us making it to 51. Mm-hmm. So you got to, and there's only a certain amount of finite centers that could be day one starters. And I think with tackles, you got Dan Moore. Maybe they'll eventually just swap Broderick and put him on the left. But tackles, there's so many, not as many centers. It just makes sense for me. So Barton for Dolphins makes perfect sense. I'm totally down with that.
Yeah, I was hoping you would say center because
sure.
I mean, if Power, everybody had us. If Powers is still on the board, they have us taking him.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was going to be, as a Miami fan, obviously, I think center is where we kind of go. I mean, we brought somebody in, but he's a veteran. We're not looking to use him long term.
You could
I don't
also
think.
Swing a verse here if you wanted to go with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wouldn't be an awful choice either. Gives you a couple options while I'm just sitting there.
Yeah. And for the Eagles, look, a couple mock drafts, they have them taking DBs or offensive line, obviously, because they lost quite a few. It's a tough one because it's really, I think, like the top three DBs off the board. Mims is still there at tackle. I think they probably take that and just take Mims and run with it.
Works for me. Whew, thank God.
Yeah.
All right. I was hoping he'd take tackle because Chargers up again. Got lucky. Roma Dunze falls to 11, so I think I got to roll. And it's like, could I go tackle? But they got Slater, got the O-line. And really, you got to shore up that defense a little bit because J.C. Jackson just did not work out with all that money and all that in my eyes. And you're dealing with, pass-happy Kansas City.
Sure.
Broncos exist.
Barely.
So for me, somehow still available, which I'm excited about because you can see safety or cornerback. Cooper DeJean.
Yeah.
Cooper DeJean.
It was either him or Mims. That's who I was going to say. He fell.
I'm taking him. He's my guy. Cooper DeJean all day. All
and I could see the Eagles potentially, like if they decide not to go O-line. He was the other draft pick that I saw because he's such a diverse player in the defensive backfield, but so
it made the most sense.
Yeah,
I'm happy with that pick because I had them taking a wide receiver at pick 23, but when you get Roma Dunze at 11, things open up.
Yeah,
sure.
All right,
24, the Dallas Cowboys.
Ooh,
they're still awake.
There's people there. That's for sure.
There's people there. I feel like since they lost their tackle, I feel like they go offensive tackle, and I feel like they go Tyler Guyton from Oklahoma.
Last one that would really be worthy of a first round pick. I'm in agreement with you. It makes the most sense.
But wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if they went just defense and they went for verse. I mean, he's still there, or they don't think that Schoonmaker or whatever is the answer and get Bowers, but I feel like they'll go offensive tackle here. And
Yeah. God, I forget that Verse is still there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible he could fall, but let's see.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and then Green Bay, I think most of the ones that I've seen for them, it's DB. They lost, 2 in the offseason, I believe, starting safety and a corner.
Yeah.
With the availability, I think Arnold's still there. I don't think anybody's picked him.
I
so.
took Arnold.
Did you?
Yep, I took
Okay.
Arnold.
Then I guess the next one would be Nate Wiggins.
God damn it.
So I think they just take whoever's best available as a defensive back. So I would say Nate Wiggins would probably be the next one up. So
Now I gotta do some thinking. I got Tampa Bay now. It's tough. I am going to roll with Jared Verse off the edge, give him some help on defense. People are saying wide receiver. People are saying O-line in the center range, but with Graham Barton off the board, Jackson Powers-Johnson off the board, there's no other guy worthy of that high of a pick. So I think they're going to go edge. They'll roll with Jared Verse because he's somehow there magically still. So, yeah, Jared Verse would be my pick for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, so now I got Arizona.
Ooh. They got a wide receiver.
They do.
Where are they going next? That is the question of the day.
yeah, that was a tough one. I was just sitting there looking. I'm like, I don't know where they would go. Like, because they got a wide receiver. A lot of the top O lines gone.
So they might go defensive tackle. They might just take Byron Murphy.
I mean,
off.
if he falls to you
If he
at...
falls to 27, then
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
think,
take him.
I
Yeah.
think you got to take that. So
Yeah.
that's my agreement. So Brian Murphy makes sense.
Yeah. And then Bills, I think the Bills go wide receiver. Then they're going to take the best available, and it would be Brian Thomas, I suppose.
Brian Thomas, yeah.
Yeah, would be the next best available. So I feel like they take
I'd be
Brian
cool
Thomas.
with either or
Him or Mitchell.
Adonai Mitchell.
Yeah.
You know, they're both big body.
They're both big bodies, yeah. So it's
I wouldn't be surprised to see him get Worthy.
yeah. I did see some. I saw some mocks where they take Worthy, but they don't have a big body receiver anymore.
That's my thing.
But
yeah,
Allen can sling it.
I know Alec can.
He wants to sling it.
Yeah, but a lot of his are him scrambling and throwing up 50-50 balls a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you got Shakir. You know,
That's it.
he's your slot
Yeah.
guy. Curtis Samuel. You know, he's kind of your hybrid. So it's like I feel like you need big body receiver. That
And to be
can
fair,
go
they
get
do
that
have
50-50
two
ball.
capable tight ends.
Just
so
get a third tight end. Just
yeah.
screw the whole
Load it
league.
all up. Yeah, you
screw
name me.
the whole league.
What tight ends outside? Okay. All right. Well, since that's there, so Buffalo. Yeah, you went wide receiver. Detroit. I was gonna go cornerback. There's none really left, in my opinion, that are worthy of getting picked in the first round. So I'm gonna go defensive edge, a little bit of extra stuff on the outside to go along with Aiden Hutchinson. Chop Robinson, Penn State. He's chilling there. Had himself a nice pro day and combine. I know the numbers weren't as productive in Penn State, but he was kind of like the main guy. So now if he's alongside Aiden Hutchinson, I could see kind of a TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith situation where he feeds off Aiden being the main focus. And if you're able to get him at 29 and no cornerbacks there left that you would enjoy, I say Chop for me. So Chop Robinson.
Solid choice. Baltimore sitting at 30.
So many options.
So many
options.
So many options. Yeah, so many options. Well, the corner that they have them drafted is gone. Can't do that. All the edges. I feel like they go the next offensive tackle off the board. I feel like go Jordan Morgan from Arizona.
Okay. All right. That's a pick. I'll admit that.
It's a pick. It is.
That's something, like I said, this is a very surprising mock draft, so I'm sure they were probably expecting a cornerback or something to fall to them, but unfortunately that was not the case. But all right, yeah, that's fine for me. Could have maybe done something with the edge like Darius Robinson from Missouri. You know, he's got options. But I'm cool with that.
He's just a bit of a tweener, so he might be a defensive tackle or he might be a defensive end. So they might, they might.
I hear you.
And just go with the safe.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
All right. Now on to second place. San Francisco
49ers. And them, it's like,
how's that silver taste?
what do they need? It's like they need O-line, but a lot of them are gone.
A lot of them are gone.
They need DB. A lot of them are
A lot of
gone.
them are gone. That is true.
Wide receiver, I think they're okay. They'll probably wait and take one later. I mean, they could go. I could see somebody like a Worthy doing a lot in that offense, but I don't think they make that jump. I think they go for. I'm gonna have them taking DB,
Okay.
and I'm gonna have them go Rakestraw.
Okay.
So
Next best up. Like I said, you're down that far. I could get it. Personally, I could see them trading back, letting someone else trade back up into it to,
because nobody's there that they really want.
If no one's there you really want, let a team trade back up into the first round. Try to grab, let's say, a team that actually would need a receiver.
Penix maybe.
or a quarterback
Penix,
that might go early in the second and they want to jump up and get him in the first.
So, but this is based off no trade happening, so I'm cool with that. Kansas City final. I did not think he was going to make it this far. Adonai Mitchell for sure. You know, they already got Hollywood Brown. That's a speed guy. Rashid Rice. You don't know what his situation is with speed racing, but he's also not a big body receiver. So if you can get Adonai Mitchell to win those 50-50 balls for Patrick Mahomes scrambling around. Yeah, if he falls to you at 32, again, you are running the card up and just saying, take it, I don't care, perfectly.
That's exactly what Rashid Rice said.
Yeah. So,
it was a rental too, wasn't it? They said it was a rental car.
Yeah.
He hit a rental car.
Oh, he hit a rental car?
He was driving his Lamborghini.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought they were saying
They go fast.
And go real fast.
You know what the fastest car in the world is? A rental.
Yeah.
It's not yours.
So, in your opinion, we'll go with you, Cody, first. What was the most surprising pick of the mock draft, in your opinion?
In my opinion, it's got to be the corners. Kool-Aid going first. A lot of people had a few different ones voted over him. I know he's like, I think 4th or 5th on this board.
Yeah.
Here, but my most surprise is where did Bowers go?
Yeah.
Where did
To the Rams at 20.
Went to the Rams at 19.
Went to the Rams at 19.
Yeah.
Like a top 5 pick a year ago. Now falls almost outside.
But I think it's because it's all the quarterbacks and then Martin
It's
Harrison.
also because of the position he plays.
Yeah.
Too. It's like, how many times have we talked about great tight ends, like the great tight ends in this league? How many were taken in the first round?
I mean, the last one was Pitts.
And I don't even consider him top, 5.
He had like his 1 year where everybody was like, okay, he was worth the first
He
rounder.
had an okay year,
And then-
but
yeah.
I'm talking about the Kelseys,
Let's see how
the
he does.
Gronks, those guys. They were second rounders. There were some third rounders in there. So it's like, you can get production out of the tight end. I mean, Laporta,
Yeah.
he was second rounder. So it's like you
can get somebody late because
you can get a good tight end who's like not crazy. So it's like him being a first round pick tight end, the only one that's really worthy of it. Yeah, but it's the position he plays. Unfortunately, it's the nature of the beast. So you got to just hope a team, their number one need is tight end, and that's rarely the case.
Yeah.
So like he is the guy who I project to really fall
more than people expect.
Yeah, more than what people expect.
Probably I could see it pretty similar to the way he fell in our makeup draft
from
here.
Top 5 a year ago.
Yeah.
I'll put you like this: if the Jets don't take him, he's going to be waiting.
Yeah.
In my eyes, unless like I said,
I could see the Jets taking him, but I could see other scenarios where they don't.
I'll change it around. Personally, if the trade happens with the Chargers, and he makes it past 11, then he's in for a little
He's
bit of a
slipping,
wait.
yeah.
He's going to be in a Brady Quinn situation where he's just chilling like,
Yeah. Which brings on, like, my most surprising pick was probably the Bo Nix.
Yeah.
So soon. That to me would be the most surprising.
it's not the most
I feel like the
surprising.
Broncos will reach though. That's
Yeah, I think that is a reach where the Broncos,
or Penix.
if they could get another second round or get a second round pick, because I don't think they have one, right?
no.
Yeah, so if they
They don't have a
could,
second or a third.
if they
Picking in
could
the
get,
fourth.
if they could get a second round pick, they could probably get Bo Nix in the second round. But the reason they jump up so soon is because they don't have one until the fourth round.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
so-
personally, if
No one's gonna fall that far.
yeah, I mean, for me, if
You're left
Sam
with
Hartman.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
you're left with like the Hartmans from Notre Dame, like because I think Radler goes off by the third round, Penix goes off second round.
do I think you could trade back up?
Bo Nix
into-
goes second
I
round.
think they could probably trade back up into the third round.
Yeah,
with
I mean,
what
they could.
have.
They'd have to move up to one of
but
those, but then
even
they'd have to
then-
take a chance that one of them's there.
That's why, for me, if you get to 12 and there's still a decent amount of talent on the board, make some calls.
Yeah,
You know, I'm using it like you got to have a pick in mind. You're like, if we don't get anything going, this is who we got to take. But then you start making calls to people that would rather, you know, get that receiver a little earlier, get that specific tackle if tackles really fly off the board early.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like, you know, might not get Fashanu or Fuaga dropping as late as they do. And you're like, 12, we can go up there, get our book in tackle, call it a day. And then, you know, that earns them some extra picks. And then they can kind of go back to what they want to do. And then, you know, second round grab Michael Penix. You know, figure themselves out.
I think we just have to compare like the way our draft went and see if any of them hit in the actual draft. I think that'll
picks?
be like obviously I think our top five.
I
probably-
mean,
well,
I'll put it to you like this: none of my picks are really going to make it because they shouldn't even have fell to me. I'll put it to you like
you might
that.
be surprised because I mean, every draft I feel like there's at least one.
Falls,
Oh yeah, I don't
if
see him
Roma
falling.
Dunze falls to 11, I'll eat my own hat.
Yeah.
But we have that.
Yeah, I
we
will
have it.
physically eat, not this
And we're talking about that
'cause
hat.
this-
No, he said that hat.
No, I want a different hat because this is a nice hat.
We'll bread it. We'll bread it and
We'll bread it and
Yeah.
deep fry it. We'll get old Don to do it.
Yeah, I just don't see
Barbecue
that
sauce,
happening.
deep fry it.
And yeah, like I don't see Adonai Mitchell making it down all the way to 32.
I mean, most of the mock drafts I looked at, he was picked after 25, so he was a.
I'm not saying he's not going to be after pick 25, but if he makes it all the way to Kansas City, something's wrong. You know, especially with Buffalo desperately needing it. I don't see Brian Thompson making it all the way down.
Brian
to
Thomas,
then.
yeah.
Brian Thomas. So
I think the receivers. I don't think there's other than Marvin Harrison Jr. I think it really just goes on preference for the team. I don't think there's going to be a specific order that they're taking. Like a team who clearly
after the big three,
Yeah.
then it's how high do you need to go up to get that next guy?
Yeah,
And
or
if he
what type of wide
follows your
receiver do you
bases.
want? Because I've
Yeah.
seen some reports where they claim that Brian Thomas is an uncoachable wide receiver. So it's like, you know, that who's reporting that?
I mean,
Who's
what about,
saying it?
you know, with Gronk and stuff? He's like, I don't run plays, man. Just get open and give me the ball. Just give me the ball. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's
I
Gronk.
don't need to know what routes we're running.
The only wide receiver in
Godzilla
history.
running
There's only a couple wide receivers in history who could say that and get away with it. And Megatron could get away with it if he just said, "Hey guys, I just get open. That's it." Jerry Rice, obviously.
Just sling it up there. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Those two are the only ones who could go into the coach's office and be like, "Look, coach, I don't need the
Moss,
playbook. I just
Moss.
Moss. Those three. I just get open. Just throw it to me. I'm open."
I mean, yeah, like I said, like I definitely see. Well, outside of what you picked for Tennessee tackle wise, I see the first 6 that we said probably falling exactly the way it's going to fall if the trade happens. If the trade doesn't happen, then it's what do the Chargers do at 5? I think they will probably. I feel like they got to go wide receiver, grab Malik Neighbors, worry about tackle later on down the block. You can definitely do that.
And there could be some surprising trades that happen. That there's always at least one trade. I think, in the draft that no
we
one
all
sees.
know Minnesota's on the move.
Yeah, they're trying. Yeah.
I mean, could I see the Broncos being on the move? Yeah, but unfortunately, it's going to be going back, not up.
They don't have it.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying.
No,
You're
if they can go back and
you're
gain an
gonna
extra
go-
second or
you're
third
gonna
round
move
pick, they
back.
probably will.
in my eyes, you're moving back. The only other people I can see the Bills trading up. That's why, personally, for me, if by some miracle
with Diggs gone, they could easily try to move up.
It's really just more like if somehow you get through all the firewalls and Roma Dunze drops to 12. I'm calling the Bills, and I'm like, let's talk shop.
Let's
Because I'm gonna take this guy if you don't want him. What
We'll
are you
send
going?
you Kyle Allen.
What are you
and
getting?
a second
me?
and a third.
Like, what are you
for
getting?
your
me?
first?
Yeah, no.
You get a Allen.
It'd be trade. To be honest, it would probably be trading a 1, a 2, and
Well, they got
maybe
who's their other backup?
Maybe a 1 next year or something like that.
Their who's their third? They actually had a decent third string quarterback too, I think.
Who?
Bills.
Oh.
Or did they get rid of? No, because they used to have Sam Darnold, didn't they? And then he went.
Yeah, because
he
right
left.
now the Bills only have a 1 and a 2, and then they go 4, so they don't even have a third rounder. So to me, it's probably going to be 1, 2, maybe
a next year
maybe
pick
a
or
2
something.
next year.
Yeah.
And I think that's enough to get them to 12 and snag Roma Dunze if that is the case. And then, Broncos can regroup. You can figure out, like, okay, now I can fill another need, grab Michael Penix, or hell, you could probably even grab Bo Nix in the second round.
Yeah, you can grab. They could use the first round pick and get something else, and then use the second for their quarterback.
But also, if they do trade to Buffalo, you are dealing with a low Buffalo pick at 28. Yeah. Do they fall that low? That's a stretch because you got teams that are probably looking for, quarterbacks for the future. Like I know they're saying the Rams, they got a shot to take Michael Penix. Dallas could even do it.
Oakland could even do it.
Oakland could snatch him with the second round. Like if you're
the Broncos and you trade at 12 or 13.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you're the Broncos and you trade back to the Bills, I say at 28, that's when you take your quarterback.
Yeah.
And then you got that second rounder, and then you can go grab another receiver down the line and not have to wait and still be in okay shape for dealing with what you're dealing with, in my eyes. So yeah, I see the Broncos definitely being on the move, but going back, I see Minnesota going up,
and Buffalo
potentially going up, unless somehow the draft falls the way it was falling for us. For them, I would say they're definitely taking.
Yeah, if they get Brian Thomas,
they get Brian Thomas at 28.
They'll sit back and watch.
They'll chill.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, don't get me wrong, could I see Minnesota going all the way up to 3? It's possible. I know they really like Drake May. Josh McCown coached Drake May. I think the Patriots will be a little bit more reluctant to make that trade out because then, could you trade to 11? Sure. And then are you definitely going to get J.J. McCarthy at 11? I would think you would.
Yeah.
And then you gain that extra 23rd, and then you go, then you can grab a wide receiver to help that atrocious room. So that's
because one of those guys will be there at 23, I think.
Yeah, really, the trade spot that it's either 5 or 3 where Minnesota trades up to. I don't see really Arizona getting involved too much. They'd rather
sit at 4.
They rather secure the number one wide. Get you the true number 1 wide receiver. So yeah, I think it's 3 or 5 where movement's going to be had. I can't see it any other way.
I don't think anybody's got an offer good enough for Washington to take.
In my eyes, yeah, for sure. And then, like I said, I could see Detroit, if nothing falls to them that they really like, they could trade back, have someone pop up and maybe grab that other wide receiver. Like if the Chargers are still sitting fine, and let's say they don't trade out, they grab 5. They could do something interesting there if they decide to go tackle. There's a lot of possibilities. Washington, Tennessee, Panthers have a couple extra picks. Maybe they can combine those, get back up into the first round, but by then the talent's really gone in my eyes. Now, don't get me wrong.
The theme of Carolina.
Let's just say, Panthers get a little, frisky business and stuff like that, and you give the Panthers a call, and then you guys get the number 1 overall. You get number 1 in round 2 and number 7 in round 2. That's not terrible. I think you still get your and you'll get a little bit extra on top of that.
Sure.
But the Broncos will have multiple partners willing to trade with them if the right player falls to them.
Right.
Well, in Panther fashion, they may give you their first next year, and then you'll end up with pick 1 and 3.
Yeah.
1 and 2. Yeah.
Or 1
Yeah,
and 2.
so like
That'd probably be the first time that's ever happened.
yeah.
Time.
Because I'm looking, I don't see a whole lot of other teams that could really be trading up into the first round. Like the right player again would have to be there somehow just by magic. But
Yeah.
I don't see it.
We'll just have to wait and see. I think it'll be a fun draft.
I'm excited. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm always excited for draft night. You know, I will not be bothered. I'll be chilling, watching on the TV.
Yeah. Well, until next time. Maybe after the draft. Who knows? We got another week and a half for the draft, so. What,
8
next
days.
Thursday?
8 days.
Yeah.
8 days.
7 days.
Yeah, I forget that it's Wednesday, but yeah.